So I just got done watching the latest Republican debate, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Well, I don't think this particular debate added anything new to the conversation. A lot of the same questions, a lot of the same answers. As far as who I thought did good, well, surprisingly tonight, I think it was Kasich, Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, and a little bit of Carson, in the sense that, they finally were able to, answer questions and get attention. Something they, desperately need, given their showing in the Iowa caucus and, the polls. It's not so much they did excellent, but they did well. Carson, he hasn't been doing too good in the last debates because he's been practically invisible, but I think we all saw him tonight when he was answering questions about how Ted Cruz had tried to screw him over. When they brought up the Zika virus, I thought his answer on that was pretty good, and it reminds you that he's a doctor. Then again, I think, if he was running for Surgeon General, he would have won tonight, but he's running for president. Christie made himself known by picking on Marco Rubio. He had this constant thing, well, I'm a governor, I understand things better than you, and you're just a senator. You don't have to live up to your mistakes. And it's like, what the fuck? What the hell did Marco Rubio do to piss off Chris Christie? Did he steal his sandwich or something? Because the same thing can be said of Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and Ben Carson, None of them have been governors either. But for some reason, he just does not like Marco Rubio. And I thought Marco Rubio, he didn't do too well fending off of Chris Christie. Chris Christie's like, you keep saying the same thing. And then Marco Rubio would keep saying the same thing. That being said, Chris Christie kept saying the same thing. He's like, I'm a governor. I understand that when you make a decision, there are consequences of it. And then he would say it again later. And it's like, yeah, bully. I think he picked on Marco Rubio because in his mind, Marco Rubio is the weakest of those four non-governor types. Classic bully move. But still, I think it worked to his advantage. Who didn't do well? Well, I already mentioned Marco Rubio. Like I said, Christie took a bite out of his ass with that. And, Marco didn't really have much of a defense against it. Donald Trump, well, he was kind of invisible all night long, which is wonderful. That's why tonight's debate, it was like the one where he didn't show up. It's just a wonderful feeling. But when they got into internet domain, the boos were so amazing in here. So, no, I don't think he did too well tonight. I don't think he's going to do too well with the New Hampshire primary. Let's see, who else? Well, I think Ted Cruz did fine. He didn't do exceedingly well. He didn't do exceedingly bad. I'm wondering if, this whole Carson Gate debacle will affect his standing. We'll have to see. And that's all I had to think about tonight's debate. Yeah, well, I am just so excited for New Hampshire now because it's like just days away, and I just want to see what they do with this. And some of these people will finally be dropping out. And, yeah, just waiting. It's all up to you, New Hampshire. That's all I got to say.